Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Senate's request for statement on rehabilitation and upgrading of Mombasa Road sections left in a state of disrepair following the construction of the Nairobi Expressway. Mr. Speaker, sir, I raise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on the Kenya shillings 9 billion set aside for rehabilitation of sections of Mombasa Road left in a state of disrepair following the construction of Nairobi Expressway. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the statement, the committee should, 1, state why the cost of construction of the Nairobi Expressway that was initially projected to be Kenya shillings 65.2 billion, but later increased to 72.8 billion as stated by Kenya National Highways Authority, KENHA, did not factor the costs for rehabilitation and improvement of sections of Mombasa Road left in a state of disrepair following the construction of the Nairobi Expressway. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, explain why the government has set aside 9 billion for repair and upgrading of Mombasa Road, yet the contractor for the Nairobi Expressway, China Road and Bridge Corporation is responsible for the damages on the said road and ought to take full responsibility for repairs. Mr. Speaker, number 3, state the contract cost variation for construction of the expressway as well as the impending renovation of the sections of Mombasa Road destroyed during the construction of the expressway as captured in the contract, stating how they conform to the law and attendant regulations. Mr. Speaker, provide a comprehensive report on variations on Class A and B road construction in the country and total amounts involved in variation for the last financial years to the date of completion or per project in the Republic. Mr. Speaker, number 5, the committee should provide a clear timeline on commencement and completion of the intended renovation and rehabilitation of the damaged sections of Mombasa Road or Old Mombasa Road, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee should state the guidelines on the usage of the Nairobi Expressway, especially on emergency services, in order to prevent abuse of the emergency service privilege. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Sifuna.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise just to add a bit of emphasis on the request for statement by my brother Cherargei from Nandi, Senator Cherargei. Mr. Speaker, I know that I'm in the Committee of Transport and Housing. This matter, Mr. Speaker, has become a matter of urgency because I am aware that the resources, the 9 billion that he's talking about, was set aside and actually provided for in the last financial year. Mr. Speaker, the old Mombasa Road now has become an eyesore. We would like that when this matter comes to committee, we will be calling them, the responsible people, starting with the Kenya National Highways Authority, to give us an answer on what the plan is with the old Mombasa Road, Mr. Speaker, because I don't think it is fair for the residents of Nairobi and all who use that road that there is an expressway that you have to pay to use that was built on top of a road that was okay. Mombasa Road was okay back then. We didn't have the sort of blockages in drainage that we see even on the stretch of Uhuru Highway, Mr. Speaker. There's a lot of chaos at the Westlands roundabout. When you start all the way from Lolongo, Mr. Speaker, there's actually no highway unless you are on the expressway. So we would like that this matter is given the seriousness that it deserves, and the contractor is able to explain to us why it has taken so long to restore the old Mombasa Road to where it was before, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the people of Nairobi and other road users lost a number of lanes on that road because our understanding was that when the expressway was going to be built, it would not affect the number of lanes on the road. If you look at the section at the Next Gen Mall, for instance, Mr. Speaker, where the intake for the expressway is at on Mombasa Road, at Next Gen Mall, you cannot tell me that that's how Mombasa Road used to look because we only have barely 2 lanes remaining. This was a 4-lane highway, Mr. Speaker. So we would want that the contractor is brought before this committee, before our Committee of Transport and the Kenya National Highways Authority to answer the questions that have been very well put by Senator Cherargei, that we need to know what is the plan of restoration of the old Mombasa Road, how long is it going to take, how have the resources that were allocated prior to the, before this matter came to us, how have they been utilized so far, and when can Nairobians and Kenyans in general expect that we will have the old Mombasa Road back, Mr. Speaker, and this extends all the way to Wayaki Way. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kalwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to compliment Senator Cherargei. This is a very pertinent issue, in fact, of great national importance, given that Nairobi accounts for over 57% of the GDP of this country. Mr. Speaker, the contractor should actually not appear before the committee. It should appear before the House, the Committee of the Whole, because all senators have pertinent issues that are going to rise. And in my case, Mr. Speaker, the contractor must explain how it came to be that they developed such an expensive project without giving motorists who are using it paying an extra fee from Lolongo to be unable to enter the Upper Hill Business District and to enter the CBD. Mr. Speaker, I know you have used it. If you intend to do any business in Upper Hill and you are on the expressway, you have to go to Museum Hill. Similarly, if you want to come into the CPD. So he should tell us if there is a scientific reason. Otherwise, our expectation is that he should create an entry into the CBD and create an entry into the Upper Hill District, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Crystal Asige.